I knew something had entered my life that night, something dark, something deep, the moment my husband's mother stepped into my living room without knocking, without greeting, without smiling. She looked around slowly, like she was checking if the walls had ears. Then she leaned in close, so close I could feel her breath on my cheek, and whispered, "Your silence is the only thing keeping you alive." My heart stopped. I stared at her, waiting for a laugh, a smile, a hint that this was one of her old dramatic jokes. But she didn't blink. She didn't move. She didn't even breathe loudly. Her eyes were cold. Cold in a way no Yoruba mother-in-law should ever look at her son's wife. Cold in a way that told me she wasn't warning me about a person. She was warning me about a danger. I swallowed. My voice cracked. "Ma, what do you mean?" But she only shook her head, held my hand gently, and said quietly, "Please. Listen to me. Keep quiet. Don't ask questions. Don't confront him. Don't fight. Just stay silent." Then she slowly let go of my hand and walked out of my house like she had dropped a bomb and didn't want to see the explosion. I stood there for several minutes, frozen. My heartbeat wouldn't slow down. I sat on the floor, right where she left me, trying to understand. Why would she say something like that? Why would she warn me like that? What danger was she talking about? Nothing made sense. That night, I didn't sleep. I kept hearing her voice in my head. "Your silence is the only thing keeping you alive." Alive. Not safe. Not happy. Not peaceful. Alive. That word, alive, kept stabbing my mind. What did she think I knew? What did she think I had seen? Why would anyone want to harm me? By morning, I convinced myself she was just stressed, or maybe she had a misunderstanding with her son and didn't know how to tell me. I tried to brush it off. But fear doesn't brush off. It stays. It breathes. It waits. The week passed like a heavy shadow. My husband, Daniel, acted normal. Too normal. The way he smiled at me felt like a mask. The way he touched my shoulder felt rehearsed. The way he talked sounded like someone reading from a script. But I forced myself to ignore it. Until the night everything changed. It was exactly 2:03 a.m. Ajij was silent, not the normal Lagos silence, but the thick kind that feels like everyone is hiding from something you can't see. I was lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, when I heard it. A soft, slow slide. A ch-ch-ch-ch-ch-ch. Like paper dragged across tire. I sat up. Something had been pushed under my front door. I didn't hear footsteps. I didn't hear movement. Just that sound. My whole body went cold. I got up slowly, walking toward the living room, every step heavy with fear. The house felt wrong. The air felt tight. Like someone else was inside with me. When I reached the door, I saw an envelope on the floor. Plain. Brown. No name. No marking. My fingers trembled as I picked it up. The paper felt warm, like someone had just held it moments ago. I opened it. And my soul fell apart. Inside the envelope was a single photograph. A photograph of Daniel, my husband. Standing outside a house I had never seen. Smiling a smile I didn't recognize. Looking like a man who had another life. Beside him were 2 children, 1 boy, 1 girl, who looked too much like him for it to be coincidence. And standing beside them was a woman. Wearing his favorite shirt. The shirt he told me only looked good on me. My hands went numb. My vision blurred. I turned the photo around. Nothing. No name. No message. Just a date. A date that proved Daniel had been living another life for 5 years. 5 whole years. Years when he would leave home for work trips. Years when he would come back acting tired but smiling with guilt in his eyes. Years when he made excuses that now made painful sense. My breath shook. My fingers shook. My entire world shook. I wanted to scream until the whole street woke up. I wanted to collapse on the floor and let my tears burn the tiles. But then something happened. Her voice returned. Not from memory. Not softly. Not faintly. But loudly, like she was standing right behind me. Your silence is the only thing keeping you alive. I dropped the photo. I stepped back from it. Alive. She didn't say, your silence will keep your marriage. She didn't say, your silence will keep your home. She said alive. Something was wrong. Something dangerous. Something bigger than cheating. I could feel it in my bones. I could feel it in the air around me. Whatever this photo meant. Whatever it revealed. Someone didn't want me to know. Or worse. Someone didn't want me to talk. For 3 days, I didn't say a word. I cooked Daniel's food. I washed his clothes. I smiled when he spoke. I laughed when he joked. But inside me, fear lived like a second heartbeat. Because something strange started happening. Whenever I touched the envelope, I felt like someone was watching me. Whenever I stepped outside my door, I felt footsteps behind me. Whenever I tried calling anyone, my phone would switch off suddenly, as if someone didn't want me to talk. The house didn't feel like my home anymore. It felt like a cage. The shadows felt deeper. The walls felt closer. The silence felt louder. And then, on the 3rd evening, I learned the truth. For 3 days straight, I lived inside my house like someone waiting for a storm. Not an ordinary storm. A storm that carries a name. A storm that knows your address. A storm that wants only you. I moved around quietly, slowly, and carefully. I didn't touch the photo again. I didn't speak to Daniel except when necessary. I didn't ask questions. I didn't complain. I didn't even breathe loudly. Because every time I remembered the old woman's whisper, my chest tightened. Your silence is the only thing keeping you alive. Alive. That word kept my throat locked. The 4th evening came quietly. Too quietly. The air was still. The sky was pale. Even the usual Ajij noise felt far away, like the whole street was holding its breath. I was in the kitchen washing plates when suddenly I heard a door slam open. Not mine. Mama Rose's. Then footsteps. Fast. Panicked. Uneven. Before I could react, the door to my kitchen swung open, and Mama Rose ran inside, panting hard, holding her wrapper with one hand. Her eyes were wide, the kind of wide that only comes from seeing something terrible. Lock your door, she gasped. Lock it now. You are not safe. My heart jumped inside my chest. Ma, what happened? I whispered. She didn't answer me immediately. She grabbed my wrist so tightly her fingers shook. Then she leaned close to me and said in a trembling voice, "Someone is looking for you." My blood ran cold. Who? I asked shakily. She swallowed, her throat moving slowly, painfully. Your husband's other woman, she whispered. She has sworn that you must leave the picture. She said you are standing in her place. She said she will not share him with you. I felt my legs weaken. What did I do? I asked softly. Mama Rose closed the curtain, her voice barely above silence. You didn't do anything. Your only problem is that Daniel still calls you wife. My breath stopped. The words hit me harder than the photo. This wasn't jealousy. This wasn't anger. This was obsession. Possession. Danger. Something was deeply wrong. Before either of us could speak again, we heard footsteps outside the back window. Slow. Heavy. Deliberate. Not the footsteps of someone passing by. The footsteps of someone approaching. Mama Rose pulled me back swiftly, her hand covering her mouth. We listened. One step. Another. Another. Then the footsteps stopped, right behind my window. Someone was standing there. Listening. Breathing. Waiting. My heartbeat was so loud I was afraid whoever was outside would hear it. Mama Rose whispered. Don't talk. Don't move. We stayed frozen for what felt like hours. The footsteps didn't shift. Didn't fade. Didn't hurry. They lingered. As if the person was deciding whether to enter. As if the person knew I was inside. As if the person was imagining the best way to remove me from the world without noise. The air became so heavy it felt like drowning while standing. Finally, after a long, terrifying silence, the footsteps moved away. Slowly. Softly. Like the person didn't want to be noticed. My knees shook so badly I had to hold the wall. I can't stay here, I whispered. You will not, Mama Rose replied firmly. You will sleep in my house tonight. She held my hand like a mother would hold a child running from danger. We walked out of my house together, slowly, making sure the street was empty. I didn't breathe properly until we reached her door. Inside her home, I sat on her old brown sofa, the one that always smelled like native soap, and I finally let out a breath I had been holding since the envelope arrived. She looked at me with sad eyes. My daughter, she said gently, be wise. You are dealing with more than infidelity. Something else is happening around you. Something dark. The room felt colder. I hugged myself tightly. I didn't sleep that night. I sat awake, staring at the window, thinking. Who sent that photo? Who was outside my window? Why did Daniel's mother warn me? Why was silence the only thing keeping me alive? I didn't have answers. But fear has a way of telling the truth without words. Something was coming. Something that wouldn't hide forever. By morning, I returned to my house cautiously, with Mama Rose beside me. Everything looked normal again. Too normal. Daniel sat in the living room, scrolling through his phone like the world was calm. When I entered, he smiled. A small smile. A strange smile. Good morning, he said calmly. I nodded. But something felt different. His eyes looked too clear. Too empty. Too controlled. Like someone wearing his face, but not his soul. He stood up, kissed my forehead, and walked toward the bathroom to shower. As he walked away, his phone buzzed on the table. I didn't want to look. I swear I didn't. But something inside me, a whisper, a warning, pushed my eyes toward the screen. And the message I saw destroyed the last piece of doubt in my heart. It said, is she gone? If you don't handle her tonight, I will. From Ada. Time stopped. The world froze. My lungs tightened. My skin went cold. Handle who? Me. Handle me, tonight. Suddenly, I heard the shower stop. My instincts exploded inside me. Run. Now. And I obeyed. I grabbed only my ID card and fled my house barefoot, my heart beating like it wanted to escape my chest. I didn't know where I was running to. I only knew I needed to run away from death. That was the moment my fear broke. The moment my silence turned into fire. The moment I promised myself, I will not die like this. I will not disappear. If they want war, they will see thunder. And that was the beginning of everything. Silence can save your life. Not every battle must be confronted with noise, sometimes your safety depends on what you do not say. Your instincts are warnings sent to protect you. When your spirit becomes uneasy, listen. Danger rarely arrives without a sign. The people closest to you can be the ones who hurt you the most. Pay attention to the small changes, the late conversations, the whispered calls, the secrets they try to hide. Never ignore the first red flag. The moment you sense something is wrong, take it seriously. A single moment of awareness can save your future. Peace in a home is fragile when trust is broken. Once doubt enters, it begins to reveal things you once refused to see. Fear becomes stronger when you stay still. Movement, even small steps, can be the beginning of escape. Not all footsteps entering your compound come with good intentions. Danger sometimes enters quietly, but its shadow is loud. When your heart becomes restless, it is better to prepare than to pray for luck. Preparation is sometimes the only difference between survival and tragedy. I thought the danger was outside. I didn't know the real threat was living inside my house. But what I saw when I opened that door changed everything. If you're brave enough, follow me to part 2.